Good morning, everyone. It's great to be here. I've got a relatively short financial report. I'll be happy to take questions probably at the end, but if you want to shove your hand up, quite like that as well. And then Claire and Molly will take questions as well on their reports. And then it's coffee time, so stay with us. Right, the financial report, my first slide is actually a summary of the last 4 years, although we have Congress every 2 years, so the financial statements that have been presented in the annual report are for the last 2 years. For our sport, it's really important that you understand the 4-year cycle, and you'll see that we managed to spend money ahead of earning it, or more importantly, that we need to earn it through our World Cup event, that thrilling world event that happens every 4th year. So you'll see that in 2015, the surplus stands out there quite significantly. The sport itself, internationally, our spend rate is at around about £500,000 per year. That has increased in the last 4 years, and the things that Claire talked about, the umpire development officer, some other things, the travel and meeting costs for the INF board. Once upon a time, the sport needed the member countries to support the members of the board to get to meetings. That now is able to be covered by the budget of the INF itself. I'll go through the detail of the other income streams that allow the ordinary operation of the organisation to happen over the 4 years. What is presented on this slide is our budget versus our actual results for each year. And you'll see the standout for World Cup. That was an exceptional year. Well done, Australia. The other difference that happened for revenue is we do run other events that contribute, and there are hosting fees that come in as the events are bid for. So there are other income streams, but they're relatively easy to predict, and certainly on our expenses line we run expenditure very close to budget every year. Most unusual to have anything come out that we're not expecting. So if we move into the next few slides, I'll just drill into the sources of income, and after this the expenses side for the last 2 years. Again, you'll see events, the importance of World Cup, but also it's really important to understand the impact of the subscriptions that you will pay as member countries. That contributes around about £100,000 to the budget each year. And the other, although it looks really small in comparison to the World Cup event, is income from sponsorship. Largely that's Gilbert, and also grants from UK Sport and the IOC. We do have some other income from interest, but the main income source by far and away is the success of the 4-yearly Netball World Cup. On the expenses side, largely the expenses are split between our staff resourcing and administration. And administration largely is the costs around running board meetings and the office at the Secretariat in the UK. The little shift across the 2 years, so it looks like there was quite a big, relatively speaking, shift between staffing and administration. What Claire has managed to do with the management team is shift some of the staff or the team members from being contractors into permanent employees. And that has been around the success of World Cup, because it has increased our reserves considerably, given more certainty to the organisation. The other area of note is the spend and development. So that is in two areas: the net effect grants that go back into the region each year at £5,000 per region, and of course our development officer in Africa. That's an area which the INF would love to have more money to spend, and fortunately in other regions the sport of netball does get support from various government bodies and sporting organisations, which really does help our sport across the world. Just another way of looking at expenditure, you'll see the lion's share of the pie, so around about £500,000 for both years, is spent in the staffing area, then administration. So the same numeric information on the previous slide, just presented in a pie graph form. The financial statements for the 2 years have been audited. Thanks to Angela in the office, she runs a really tight ship and is ready for audit by the end of January every year. And we're able to then report audited financial statements at the board meeting in the middle of March every year. A really seamless process. So we do present these financial statements. They're for noting at this meeting, and they are available on the website of INF as well, if ever you wanted to look. The audit process is important to the Federation. We've been fortunate to have fabulous service from Beavers and Struthers for a number of years. We are about to start a review of the audit process just to make sure that the Federation is getting the best value for money, but it's fair to say that the service level of Beavers and Struthers is great, so they'll have any potential new auditor will have a good high benchmark to match. We're looking to be able to confirm the appointment of the auditor at the October board meeting later this year. The thorny topic of membership fees. You will have appreciated the importance of the membership fees from that earlier slide. On an annual basis, those fees contribute 13% of our total income over a 4-year cycle. But if you look at it from an expenses perspective, our expenses at about £500,000 and the income from subs at around £100,000, it's around 20% of contribution into covering our expense bases on an annual basis. It's important to recognise that we're able to give back into the regions. So some of the things Claire talked about, there is really great practices and structures in many countries. We just need mechanisms to share that in a really effective way. Certainly Nikki has her part to play in that with communication, but the INF itself also contributes back. Those net effect grants are used to run coaching seminars, match official seminars, and generally hang off the back of a regional event, just like you've seen here in Botswana. I'll have that slide back for a few minutes, if that's all right. The last important piece is to let you know that in the last 4 years we embarked on a regular 5% increase in the fees. We're intending to continue that for the next 2 years, and then we'll have a full review of the fee structure. Many of you might not realise, but the 3 big countries contribute 70% of the fees that come from subscriptions, which is really appreciated from the INF, and I'm sure for those of you who benefit from the likes of the grants that come back through Net Effect and from your other development programs that are available, will be appreciative of the contribution that comes from these fees that just allow the organisation to function. We've really grappled with fees and the objective to want to grow membership, but also have a sustainable organisation where the members actually get value from belonging and feel like paying over the fee is just part of being part of a great international federation that supports netball in your own member countries. So we've landed on continuing that. I know it's an increase, but relatively modest, and just want to continue to work hard to tell the story around the value that is available from the activities of the staff back at the office in the Federation.